right. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Got a little sweat going now? Get you focused, help you learn. You know, one of the things that I've learned is that if you want to help cement learning, you need to do something stressful. Something stressful actually helps you to kind of imprint and encode that information a little bit longer. So just something to keep in mind if you're going through a school or a class or something like that. All right. So my name is Jon Walker. I am a performance expert. I used to work with, actually used to do the role that Joel and Cassidy did at Fort Knox. I moved away from that position about 10 months ago. But I've got a background in sport and exercise psychology. Got a military family. My mom and dad both served. And so the opportunity to be back here just to work with the military is something that's near and dear to my heart. And so what I want to focus on and talk about for today is mindset. Okay? And mindset and also this aspect of habits. Who in here's got some habits? All right, if you didn't raise your hands because you're too tired or you didn't understand the question, all right? So when it comes to, when you hear the word mindset, just tell me some things that pop into your head.
How to stay positive in a negative environment.
Okay, how to stay positive in a negative environment. Good. What else? Focus. Yeah, for sure. What's that? Perspective. Awesome. What else?
Frame of mind.
Frame of mind. Okay, sure. Anything else come to your head when you think about the word mindset? Emotional intelligence. Yeah, EQ. That's a really big growing area right now. Okay. Anything else? Determination. What's that? Stubbornness. Yeah. So a little bit more about me. Married, got 4 kids. I got a 15-year-old, I got a 6-year-old, a soon-to-be 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So I know about some stubbornness right now, all right, on many, many different levels. All right, so we're going to go through a couple different activities. We're going to have a little bit of discussion, all right? This is not me standing up here and lecturing and that sort of thing. One of the ways that I know that people learn best is through others, right? So being able to tap into shared knowledge, not somebody coming in and just trying to download stuff onto you, right? So what we're going to do is head over to the floor. We're going to do our first activity. We don't need a circle. Don't need a circle. All right. So this activity is called stand and divide, right? Stand and divide. And the basic premise of it is I'm going to make a statement, okay? It's not a question. It's a statement. It's going to be a little bit ambiguous. It's meant to be, all right? Now, based upon your thoughts on that statement that I make, either you're going to agree, you're going to disagree. If you agree, you're going to move to one side. If you disagree, you're going to move to the other side, okay? At that point, we'll open the floor up for a little bit of crosstalk, a little bit of debate as to why you're on the side that you are, all right? Now, one of the things I want to add is that if somebody makes a compelling argument or, you know, rebuttal, feel free to move sides, right? It's not that big a deal, right? But what I'll do is I'll kind of throw in a softball example so that you all will kind of get the flavor and gist of what we're doing here, okay? And so I'll utilize this right here as the dividing line, okay? And there's no Switzerland, there's no neutral, there's no, oh, I'm going to stand on both sides. No, just choose a side, all right? It's not, again, it's not that big a deal. Again, and if somebody makes a compelling argument, just switch sides, all right? So the first statement is this: pineapple belongs on pizza. If you agree with that statement, you'll move to my right, your left. If you disagree, you'll be on my left, your right. Pro pineapple, no pineapple.
Join the family.
All right, all right. So one of the reasons I start with this one is just so you kind of know who your friends are, who you want to hang out with at lunchtime, all right? So you all are pro pineapple, am I right? All right. All right, so tell me why you're on this side. Why are you a fan of pineapple on pizza?
I like sweet and salty.
You like sweet and salty? Okay, all right. Jones?
That's kind of what I was going to say. It's about balance, right?
Yeah.
You've got like the sweet, the salty, the savory.
Okay.
That pineapple adds another element. It's also an element of acidity, right?
Yeah.
So it balances out the pH of the pizza.
I was gonna say pH.
I mean, it's science. Right. Yeah. And what's that? Pairs good with ham. Absolutely. All right. Any other thoughts on why you're a fan of pineapple being on pizza? Childhood memory. All right. So yeah, I mean, eating and smells are definitely linked to core memories for sure.
I just don't care. If you people want to put it on there, put it on there. If not, like, it's kind of like the noodles and chili. Why? Who cares? Like,
I should start doing that one too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll remember that one. Okay.
but I don't know. I'm indifferent.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I'm pro pineapple.
Yeah.
I don't care if you put it on pizza. I'm not gonna say it doesn't belong.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll eat it if it's on there, but
Very.
Who am I to decide?
Yeah.
I'm very much a libertarian on this.
Fair enough.
And then you're getting all the food elements in one bite, and it saves time.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, I know.
Like the nutritionist said.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. So you all are no pineapple. So tell me why. Tell me why you're on this side.
I'm with some of them.
Yeah.
I can eat it, but I feel like meat is the only thing going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not really the pizza thing. I just don't like pineapple.
Just don't like pineapple. Yeah.
I don't like the texture of it.
You don't like the texture.
No, it's weird.
Okay. All right.
It's not. It's just not something that I would order. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I'm more of like meat lover.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, I don't care, and I'll eat it.
Yeah.
You know what? If someone brings in a pizza and they're like, it's got pineapple, I don't give a shit. I'll eat it. I just don't prefer it.
Okay.
Me, I like pretty much everything on pizza, but I've had pineapple on it. I love pineapple.
Yeah.
It messes up.
Overpowering flavor.
Overpowering. So it messes up the flavor profile.
Exactly. If I want pizza, I want pizza.
Yeah. And it's not unless it's you. It's not that you don't like pineapple.
I love pineapple.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's kind of how Stand and Divide runs. All right. Got it? So, you ready for a real one now? Okay. Here we go. Here we go.
So this is a grease out.
No, you can move.
Right.
Yeah. So this will always be agree. This will always be disagree.
Right, right.
Okay. Okay. So here's the statement. I would rather be talented or gifted than to have to work hard. I would rather be talented or gifted than to have to work hard. Agree? Disagree.
I think my work ethic got me where I'm at.
So this is
Talent and gifts, hard work. Talent, gift, work hard.
I work hard and I'm not talented. I would like to see the other.
Good perspective.
Okay. All right.
I feel like if
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like if you're talented, that gives you the option to work hard or not. Can I work hard when I'm talented to get what I need and how the lifestyle I want to live?
Yeah.
So I enjoy hard work. So I'm going to be talented, but then my hard work's going to be like mowing grass or something.
I feel like a lot of people that are really talented in certain things, though, you can talk to people that maybe aren't talented or trying to get there, and you will never actually understand, because you're like, well, I don't understand, man. Just do this. And you're like, yeah, we're not really on the same page, because it takes like work for me to get there. And sometimes I feel like people can take that for granted, being talented subconsciously.
Okay.
But
So for me, it comes down to like, you can't teach talent.
Yeah.
I can teach you. I can teach you how to work hard.
Mhm.
I can't teach you how to naturally. Some people are naturally good at things. I can't teach that, but I can teach you. I can maybe push you to work a little bit harder. So for me, it comes down to what can I attain. I can attain a work ethic or to work harder, but I can't
Yeah.
attain that natural talent.
Okay.
I have the talent up front.
I look at this.
Fair enough.
If you're athletes, so professional.
Anybody else?
I was thinking about moving.
I'm thinking the opposite, because I think if you have the hard work ethic, that you can be taught anything.
Exactly.
A flute player. You can pick up a flute, you don't know how to play it, but now if you've worked hard to learn that talent, then you're always going to be gifted and talented if you know how to work hard.
Yeah, if you're gifted with music in the first place, it just
Makes it easy.
But okay, so I'm a guitarist, right?
Yeah.
So, and everybody's like, you know, you're gifted with it. No, I worked my ass off like fucking 13 hours a day learning guitar for 365 days a year, and I still constantly learn. So I think that's my work ethic.
Yeah, you started on
bring
home base, so you got to work your way all the way around. Right?
Exactly.
So, but my thing is like, man, wouldn't have been easier if you'd have started on third base. Right. You know
But you can't do that. That's with anything.
Appreciate the fact.
I-
that
Well, some people talent wise though.
But I think natural talent's bullshit. I don't believe in that.
I think when you go like, I look at
make an argument. That's one entity. Work ethic encompasses all. Like I got a daughter who's very talented. She don't have the work ethic my other daughter does, who has less talent. But I think life-wise, if you want to look at it in just not one singular entity, I'd take my work ethic because that would be all-encompassing.
But he's not saying
And I can put the work in to learn the skill set.
And then you're gonna say, who appreciates more?
all the talent in the world, but doesn't work hard.
Well, my sister went to a D1 college.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
Where the rubber meets the road, he's like, I might have all the talent.
My mom said,
Natural
If you're
talent.
not willing to put the work in,
That
it's
I've been small all my life.
Okay.
you're not gonna be looked at as like a hard, like, hey, are you really part of the team? If you can just come in here and do your set, leave, whether it's musicians or whatever. That's why, like, a lot of times bands break up. It's like, I don't care how a lead guitarist or a drummer you are. We're all staying here. You need to stay here. We're part of the band.
Yeah.
Well, look at my
So, but you're saying, but the
He had
statement
both.
was,
Michael Jordan.
I would rather do this than have to work hard.
No,
Okay.
he was
Alright.
turned. He was not.
Work
He
ethic,
did not make
baby.
his high school foot or.
Right, but
I want both, but if
But
I
then
can
he
do
worked
talent.
hard.
Oh yeah.
He didn't say talent and you don't have work ethic. He said
So Michael Jordan got cut from the varsity team.
he was on. He was on.
He got cut from varsity as like a freshman.
The state championship.
Still, if he didn't have natural talent, he had to work hard to get there.
Yeah, I agree.
Natural talent's bullshit. So what happened? He got cut, and he's like, man, I need to bust my ass now.
Okay.
Well, it's like my sister. My sister ran track. She was a D1 athlete, and now, like all her life, she was like, I'm talented. She just went to the high school, graduating class of 30. Like in her mind, she's like, I am awesome.
Yep.
But now she's like 25, 26 years old, and she has been fired from every single job because everything has come so easy for her. She truly has absolutely no idea, like how life works, and like no one gives a shit that you can jump far into a sand pit. But
It's kind of my claim to fame too for a while.
and that's awesome that she has that, but she's never actually had to learn how to work hard because everything's come very natural to her.
Yeah.
And but I do also think people can be talented and work hard.
That's what I was gonna say. So it sounds like everybody's like, if you're talented, you just won't work hard. And it's like I don't understand why you're thinking that. It's like if you're talented, you can also work hard. And I would much rather be talented and work hard than not talented and work.
Isn't work ethic a talent anyways?
Right. That's a talent.
But it was rather than
All right.
Sorry.
So I'll let you speak your piece, and then we'll go on to the next one.
It was kind of covered. What I was going to say was like professional athlete. So like if you have somebody who has a natural ability to catch a ball, because not everybody has hand-eye coordination.
Yep.
All right. So you can have it, but you can get better at it too.
Yep.
So I think it's just the difference of having the work ethic can actually separate the gifted from the great.
Okay. Yeah.
That was it.
So making that work on top of the talents to separate them. Gotcha. All right. You all ready for another one? All right.
I'm not saying no.
All right. I can get more results with compliance than commitment. I can get more results with compliance than commitment. Agree? Disagree?
This is the commitment side.
Commitment, compliance.
You want your applicant to be committed to joining the military, or just be like, oh, okay, yes, sir, you know, I'll feel okay.
Well, shit.
And then not But here's the deal.
I won't let you pull it on.
They don't shit, you get one knocked off.
litmus test like a tank coming in?
All right, so for the time being, everybody's on this side, on the side of commitment. Tell me why.
If you don't have buy-in, you're not going to care, and you're not going to continue.
Longevity.
Follow rules, but if you don't have the buy-in, then you're not going to be.
I'm looking at commitment like loyalty.
Okay, seeing commitment like loyalty.
And the longevity, I believe.
What do you mean by the longevity?
How long your commitment to it will drive you through all the hard times. Like me being recruiting for 17 years. I think of my commitment is why I haven't went somewhere else when I could have.
Yeah.
I took another
Okay.
I mean, being compliant doesn't really. Commitment gets you through the rock bottoms.
Okay.
Motivation starts you. Commitment gets you there. So compliant to me is like kind of motivation. You can get up, start running one day, but if you don't be consistent, committed to it, you're gonna quit running because it's gonna
Sure.
suck. So.
Sure. All right. Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, there's a lot of times that we just outright comply, whether subconsciously or whatever. We're in the military, we're the rank where it's really visible. I don't have to be reminded by anybody, like if somebody outranks me, like if remember I'm this, I'm
Right.
that, I'm gonna boast this whole time. I can see that. I'm gonna do exactly what I know I need to do without you having to do. You know, if you give me a task, I'm gonna execute
Mhm.
X, Y, and Z all the way to the end. That's compliance. Whereas I'm doing this because I want to perform. I want to perform for you. I want to keep doing this all the way through. I'm not gonna burn out. Like First Sergeant said, he's getting near the end of his tour, and he's not just like, all right, I'm done. No, I want to leave the organization better. Either like when I came walking in here, and then that way set up the next person. Maybe they can make it better. And it's a commitment. You're making a commitment even after you're gone, but that keeps going.
Okay. Williams, what do you got?
Okay, I would argue that it takes compliance first, and then it develops into commitment. So if we're going to use the vehicle of fitness because we're here. If you're on a diet and you're trying to gain muscle, you've got to trust your coach, and you do what they say. And you're like, fine, I don't believe you, this is wrong, but I'll eat 20 pounds of chicken if you think it's going to make me look well. So you eat the chicken, you aren't committed to it, you're just compliant. You're just going to do what you're told. No thought to it, no passion to it. And then 6 months later, you look in the mirror and you've got these huge biceps and these washboard abs. Now suddenly you're like, holy moly, this worked. Now you're committed. And now you are passionate about it. And that initial compliance can turn into commitment. But sometimes you have to just work with compliance.
I can follow that.
Okay. All right. All right.
I can argue.
All right. So I'll go with the hand raises first. Go ahead.
So my argument to that would be, what drives that compliance? Why would you comply in the first place?
So I hit rock bottom and I really want washboard abs and everything I did.
You really want.
That's why you're complying.
That's why
My
I
argument would be commitment drives compliance. Compliance does not drive commitment. So you have to be committed to an ideal or a goal to comply to whatever it is.
All right. All right.
So, but you said you hit rock bottom, and you really want.
All right. So let's listen. Let's listen.
So you already have that ideal in your. It's just like recruiting somebody, right? If I can put the ideal in your head that you want to join the Guard, you're going to join the Guard, right? If I'm telling you to join the Guard, it's hit or miss. But if I can make you think that you came up with the idea to join the National Guard, you're going to join the National Guard, right? Because you have a commitment to do it at that point for yourself.
All right.
I would argue that it's kind of like what Tincher said. Commitments always leads to compliance, but compliance doesn't always lead to commitment.
No.
I would say that kind of goes back and forth. If you're committed to something, you're going to comply. We're going to do what we need to do for the team. But just because you comply to it doesn't mean you're going to, in the end, you're going to follow through with it and be committed to it. You're just compliant at the time. It may work out, it may not. That would be my argument.
All right.
I feel like with commitment comes respect for either a person or what it is you're doing. You're gonna respect, for example, First Sergeant. If I'm committed to what it is that I'm doing, and he tells me, "Hey, Marson, if you need to do X, Y, and Z," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm committed to my job. I'm committed to whatever it is that I'm doing, and I respect it, so I'm gonna comply with it." With compliance, if they're just like, "Hey, Sergeant Marson, you need to go out there and don't be mad at me, First Sergeant." But if he's like, John Marston make 100 phone calls and you're like, "Oh God," well, like I'm gonna comply with it. I am not committed to continue doing that because I do not enjoy that. Whereas if I'm not saying I don't respect it. Please don't. I'm grass, but like, yeah, but like I can commit to something but have zero. I mean, I can comply with something and have absolutely no intention of like taking.
But his 100 phone calls got done.
It did, yeah, but that doesn't make me committed to it at all. If you don't tell me to do it, I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the question was.
So I'm not
No
committed to
questions, only
compliance.
statements.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, I just use that as
No, I got you.
I'm not committed to doing it until he says, sit down and do it. And I'm like, hey, Roger. All right. Now I'm just being compliant, not necessarily committing to the act.
Because if you were committed, you would have done it without him telling you. Right?
Correct. I would have, yeah. That was just an example for starters.
Hypothetically,
Yeah.
So let me ask this then. Can I get results without being committed?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think you can get consistency.
You say the question.
No questions, only statements.
What was the second?
Unless somebody
I-
has complete control over you.
I can get more results with compliance than commitment.
Oh.
I still think commitment for sure. Because she would have already done it. She already had that done. She was committed.
You're going to get longevity out of your
Yeah.
Okay.
commitment,
100%.
I think.
All right, let's get another one. Okay. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. Agree? Disagree?
You won't be on this side, so I'll take it. You can be wrong, you can be right. That's the right side.
This is comfort, this is growth. Comfort, growth. Comfort, growth.
We were confused. We were stay in your comfort zone all the time.
This is the side you want to be on.
Yeah.
All right.
Saying that we were comfortable, but nothing grows. Over here, things grow. That's how.
Gotcha.
That's how I looked at that too.
Okay. All right. So then tell me why being outside of your comfort zone you think leads to growth.
Because we'd stay stagnant if we, like, if we're in our comfort zone, we're staying in the same place.
Okay.
So you have to step outside of that to expand your comfort zone.
Yeah.
The only thing that stays the same is everything changes, and you have to be willing. No one likes change. Humans do not like change, and it's scary. It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary.
Yeah. Okay.
Very necessary. Yeah.
All right.
Life falls through change, like even with evolution.
Yeah.
Water takes the easiest path. That's not like it's not how it's supposed to go. Like humans didn't take the easiest path, or else we'd all be dead. So I get really fat when I'm comfortable. I used to be 280 pounds. It's not the standard. We need to freaking change. Once I got down from that, I was like, I need to make some changes. I was no longer in my comfort zone.
Mhm.
Then the motivation from that stemmed to everything.
Okay.
Got a new job, started a YouTube channel, started different fitness paths, started running. Went shark fishing.
In the kayak. That's where it is.
All right. Go ahead.
Like, if you build a comfort zone, it doesn't mean that you're lazy or anything. It could have taken like a lot of work to do that, and get to a rhythm and everything. But if you never put yourself out there, like ready to the risk, ready to the reward, even if you fail, if you stay positive, you can turn that failure. Like, where did I fail? You can analyze that. What did I do good? What did I do bad? And then change and evolve. Because everything else in the world is evolved. People change, the way things we do things change. If you always stay inside, you'll be awesome and an expert for a while, and then you'll be lost when you're like, why am I not getting what I need?
What's this dang TikTok thing y'all talking
Yeah.
about?
Complacent and comfort, COM, they start off the same.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
It is completely impossible to live without failing at something. Unless you live so cautiously, then you might as well not live at all, right? So if you stay in your comfort zone, that's all you know. If you think you know everything, you know nothing. So you have to step out and be willing, hey, maybe there's a better way. What is the better way? What else can I do differently? And that is scary, and that's where this is not a political conversation, but I think that I think it's very necessary for liberal type people and conservative, and the reason for that is because your liberal type folks are the ones that are willing to step out of their comfort zone. They're like, hey, I'm going to start this business. And then you got the conservative people that are typically like, well, shit, what if it fails? What if this goes wrong? What if I lose this? And what if I lose it all? And it's like, well, yeah, but what if? What if I grow it, right? So you normally have your liberal type thinkers who step out of their comfort zone and actually grow, anything and everything, businesses, life, whatever, come up with new inventions. All your scientists and stuff are typically more liberal. Then you have your conservative folks who are there beating the hammer in over and over again because they don't like change. So they will be the ones that will run the businesses because they don't like change. Does that make sense?
It does. So let me ask this then. Can I still be effective even in my comfort zone?
Yes.
Okay.
Ish.
Ish. In my area of expertise.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what about a period of time? What about the times you step out of your comfort zone and you're like, oh, I can't handle this. You come back in your comfort zone for a bit,
Yeah.
reestablish yourself, then go back out.
That's okay.
You know, you visit everything you did right or wrong, you go back out and try it again. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's called learning.
Yeah.
Feel forward.
Come back, reevaluate, and then go back out and do it again.
Okay.
I think you can step out of your comfort zone and do things that, how many people are standing here with kids and wives and husbands because they had the courage to step out of their comfort zone and establish relationships and do that? Or how many people step out of their comfort zone, got rejected, or got to a better relationship, became a better person? Even if technology.
It's funny. It's funny that you say that because Sergeant Hill here is responsible for me meeting my wife, stepping out of my comfort zone. That's a story for another day. All right, so let's head back. Oh, I've got plenty more.
We need to talk, man. We need to talk.
I'm not gonna say nothing. Don't worry.
I'm over it, man. I stepped out my comfort zone.
You gonna put some pineapple on that pizza?
Actually, the first year in college, I learned like that pineapple on pizza. I split it with somebody and they had pineapple on their head.
They're more now not liberal as in like what we have in our mind, as in like the radical type people like that's
All right. So we're building that foundation, talking about mindset, right? And we're going to go into really looking at it from an aspect of when does and why does a mindset shift, okay? A mindset shift. Now, I forgot to bring my speaker. So hopefully my phone is loud enough for you to, I'm going to play two clips from a couple books, two books that I highly recommend. One of them is called Think Again by Adam Grant. And the other one is called Upstream by Dan Heath. Okay? And what I want you to pick up from these audio clips is just the fact of what is the impact of being able to make a mindset shift. Okay? So give me a second to get this queued up. All right, so as I'm bringing this up, what did you take away from that activity of Stand and Divide? What's that? I heard somebody mumbling something.
He said,
Not everybody's the same. Okay, what else?
overall, and I heard First Sergeant say it as we walked back, like, well, we actually all agree mostly on everything, and I think that's something that a lot of us, again, it's subconscious, I think a lot of us humans tend to do is get so worked up and think we're all actually against each other when typically we all really have the same mindset or like want for the same results, just different ways of getting there, but we kind of tend to block that out most of the time.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. What else? What else did you take away from Stand and Divide?
Some people change their minds. Yeah. Some people had a mindset shift.
Yeah.
After being presented with
Open-minded.
And it's okay, right? It's okay.
I think just being able to talk about things is healthy.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and it's okay to talk about things with people who have a different mindset, right? Who don't necessarily share the same viewpoint that maybe you do, right? All right, let's see if I can.
You and a friend are having a picnic by the side of a river. Suddenly you hear a shout from the direction of the water. A child is drowning. Without thinking, you both dive in, grab the child, and swim to shore. Before you can recover, you hear another child cry for help. You and your friend jump back in the river to rescue her as well. Then another struggling child drifts into sight, and another, and another. The two of you can barely keep up. Suddenly you see your friend wading out of the water, seeming to leave you alone. Where are you going? You demand. Your friend answers, I'm going upstream to tackle the guy who's throwing all these kids in the water. That's a public health parable adapted.
All right. So you hear that. How does that strike you? And how does that maybe remind us of some of the places we've been in life, right?
You can either like react to a problem,
Mm-hmm.
or try to solve the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being reactive versus proactive.
And if you're reacting, you're always going to be overwhelmed. But if you hit it head on, you can just figure it out.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes people think that you're a monster for climbing out of the water. Because what are you doing, man? Like, you're not saving nobody. And then he's like, well, no, I'm going to take the dude out. And you're like, oh, shit, okay. Well, you're not evil, you know? You're like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you good.
What else? What else do you take away from that clip? Yeah.
Where are these kids' parents? Like step back, because the two guys obviously they're like-minded thinkers. They did the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
So either by their moral values or whatever, you can change it from kids in the water or whatever to anything. But it's like two like-minded people doing the same thing until somebody, he was about to do the same. He was going to keep jumping into it. But he's like, all right, hold on. I'm going to go do this. It's going to ultimately complete what it is that we're both trying to do, but it's thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Going out from the situation as you see it, and then taking care of the problem.
Yeah. And why do we get stuck sometimes, do you think?
Tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision? Okay. Yeah. And comfort? Basic instincts?
Humans are like water.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we're right, we're unwilling to. We're always right. That's not the right answer, but that's how we initially. It's our knee-jerk reaction.
Sure.
I'm right, you're not, and then you realize, oh my God, okay, what makes your way wrong, my way right, my way wrong, your way right. Like they both can be right, and maybe I don't actually have all the answers every single time.
Okay. All right. Some other thoughts on that?
I think it really highlights perception because you're seeing your buddy get out of the water, and it talks about that knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
So like his intent versus his delivery, his intent was to go up there and just stop the cause, but from your foxhole, you perceived it as this dude's just getting out the water, not wanting to save kids, and that's why you got mad. So I think we really got to watch one how we deliver things. Make sure that your intent is known to the people that it affects, and two, how you perceive things, because they may not be communicating 100% of their thought process or the story to you. So before you get all pissy and react to something, you need to make sure you got all the details.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, having the details make sense because at the start we didn't know that there's somebody throwing somebody in. Like, well, we don't know if it's 50 kids jumped off a bridge at the same time. And
Sure.
There's 50 coming, and we're just losing kids because he's out of the water.
Yeah.
So obviously, if I'm running in and I know what the cause is, that I'm going to come to that conclusion faster.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that implies. Educating yourself, getting more information.
Don't judge so quickly.
Okay. All right. What are you going to offer?
I guess from a military standpoint, it's like if you're gonna storm a point, there might be some instances where it's like, hey, there's only one way to do this, but then there's times where it's maybe there's other avenues that we can do this. From what we taught, mainly on the fly, observing what's going on.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I know we would do this every single time, but let's try something different.
Okay. Yeah. And so I think, when it's easy to get stuck, right? It's easy to get stuck when a fire pops up. Like, oh, well, I need to put this fire out. That makes sense, right? But then another one pops up. It's like, oh, shoot, well, I got to put this one out too, and then another one, another one. And similar to that parable, it's like, do I get stuck stomping out fires, or do I figure out where the source is coming from, right? And sometimes we get so muddled down and stuck in the fact that I'm doing something, I'm busy, right? You can be busy putting out fires, but it's productive to stop it from the source, right? And so there's a big difference there, I think, in terms of, again, that aspect of a mindset shift. And so what I want to do is I want you all to pair up and talk about a time in which you had or recognized that you had a mindset shift. And I'll start you off here. So, and by no means is this me boasting or bragging or anything like that. All right. This is just me recognizing that 20 something years ago, I was an idiot. Okay. So coming out of high school, grew up in Louisville, track and field athlete. And in my fish bowl, I was a big fish. Okay. Didn't realize it, but I was a big fish. Okay. And so, won state championships, set school records, and all that sort of stuff. And so I enjoyed running track. But what I really recognized that I enjoyed was the fact that I was winning. Winning felt good, right? And so got an opportunity to go to EKU, compete there. And my first couple days, one of the things I recognized is I don't like practice. Practice is hard. I came from a really small school. My graduating class was like 42. Okay. And I had my track was the third floor of our building or running around outside. Okay. And call it talents, call it gifts, whatever. I was decently talented to thrive in that environment. I came out of high school. I had a 4.240. I had like a 40+ inch vertical. I was jumping over 22 feet in long jump and that sort of stuff. So went to college on a lot of talent, right? And then as I started to compete, I realized that all these other people I'm competing against, guess what they had? 40-inch verticals, 4.240s, and a work ethic. I didn't have a work ethic. And so for me, that's what I had to realize. All right, I'm not having fun. I don't like doing this, and I'm losing. So I can quit, or I can change. And so for me, I changed my mindset around, yes, talent is a good thing, right? My talent got me here. You ever heard that expression, what got you here ain't going to keep you here? That's kind of where I was at, right? What got me there wasn't going to keep me there, either because I was going to lose my position on the team, or I was just going to be so disheartened that I quit the team, right? And so that's an example for me when I recognized that I needed to make a mindset shift. So what I want you all to do is partner up for a couple minutes and just talk about what was the time that you recognized it was important for you to have a mindset shift. So, kind of talk about what led to that, and then how did you make that decision, okay? Take a few minutes, have those discussions, and we'll keep driving on.
Always got something. Your story sounds so much like my sister's. She went to EKU as well.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. And
What's your sister's name?
Liz Morrison. And
She's younger than us.
I know, but I mean, I've known all the coaches there forever.
Sorry, Mr. Walker.
And now, like, I mean, I'm not kidding, every single job, because her, like, physical appearance and everything, and the talent, graduating class of 36 now, I mean, she got thrown out in the real world, like, oh shit, there's a lot of talented people, or there's a lot of funny people, and that's not actually what's going to get me anywhere.
Yep.
Ain't nobody gives a shit. I mean, it's cool, it's a great accomplishment, like, no, good job, don't care that you did that,
Yeah.
But so, relating back to my
So, what does that entail? But I told myself when I came back in that all that I hate for so long.
Shoot. Sir, how are you? See.
14 days.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna drop back and punt
Okay.
because I was gonna add habits to this as well, but we're running short on time. So I'll extend mindset and then pick up habits after lunch because I know I was supposed to do RTR or something. I was like, I don't know if I can do that legally.
Right. No, I
So,
think that works. Yeah.
so I'll just do habits after lunch then. All right.
That works for us.
You're doing great.
Oh, appreciate
I tried
it.
to hide behind the camera because at a CCR I had to process for the colonel.
Oh.
And so I was trying to hide the camera so you didn't see me on my cell phone because I'm listening to you and processing the commander's critical information
Yeah.
requirements.
Yeah, it's all good.
Had to be hospitalized for behavioral health reasons, but yeah, I always enjoy hearing you. You're awesome.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I appreciate you being here, and I learned some things about you I didn't know today. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm always good for a good story on how I did something dumb.
Like John said,
What years were you at UKU?
01 to 09.
Okay. Yeah, I had mine's the exact same story. Same thing, ran cross country track.
Okay.
Ran distance. Really good, state champion, broke all the school records, all that stuff. Went to Western and then ran the cross country track there, and then I got to track and they put me in like the 5,000 meter run and the steeplechase, and I'm like, I'm not having any fun. I was getting by running 35, 40 miles a week in high school, and now they're making me run 90 to 100, and I'm like, and I'm competing with all the Kenyans, and I'm like, this ain't fun. I'm not having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it affected my mood, it affected my performance, then it clicked, and then about end of my sophomore year, I was like, I'm over the summer, I'm gonna put in the effort. I mean, running 16-mile every other day.
Yeah.
Putting in the work, and then winning conference championships and all
Yeah.
that fun stuff later on. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's crazy. Again, you get stuck, you know, and that's where I was. That's where we were, right?
Yeah.
It's stuck, and being stuck doesn't mean necessarily that you're stuck in a bad place. You be stuck in a good place. It's like, man, I was in my comfort zone, right? It's like, man, I'm having success, having fun, and then it's like, there's levels to every level.
And then simultaneously coming through the guard, I was a really good athlete, so coming running wise, I was on the Army 10 miler.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff, doing all the ruck marches, it's no problem for me. So that kind of helped me accelerate. Pretty decent in the military side, but I still had to struggle as a college athlete.
Yes.
But like, do you manage like 30?
Well, Tuesday, maybe.
All right.
Yeah, that's about $100 a month.
So I just want, for whoever's willing, just share a short snippet of maybe where you were, what was that mindset change that you needed to make. Okay. Any volunteers on that? Yeah.
We talked about, so I had a baby a year ago. Well, my wife did. But we had a baby, and I've always been interested in like business and real estate and investing and stuff like that. But it was always just like a conversation. And I had friends that were doing it, and like it was like, oh, that's cool, I love it. Like, it's just, whatever. And then recently, got super serious about it because it was just something that, like, I didn't come from money, right? And she's not coming from a bunch of money. So,
Yeah.
Eventually, hopefully that'll change, and then her kids will come from something else.
Yeah.
So as far as just like, nothing I do now is really about today, right? Everything is about a couple years now.
Yeah. And so recognizing and bringing kids into the world, that's an immediate mindset shift. Like I remember when my oldest was born, I started driving slower. I recognized how selfish I was. And I didn't think I was a selfish person, but it's like everything just went immediately to her. And I didn't have to think about it. It wasn't a debate. It was just All right, this is how it is. I appreciate you sharing that. Any others?
I was going to piggyback. I think I was telling Sir McQuarrie is, you know, when you're a young man and growing up, life is about being selfish.
Mhm.
You know, and I think I got married, but I don't think I really understood what that meant.
Yeah.
I was telling him I had to take a mindset shift to like, what is a husband? Like, what is my role in this? And then I think me and Sergeant talked about it not too long ago. Like, phase two of that was now I'm a dad.
Mhm.
But early on, I wasn't a dad. I was like married to a woman taking care of my kids. You know, and it was like I'm out still doing the same shit.
Yep.
Going hunting trips, going here, you know, all over the place, traveling, still doing me, selfish me.
Mhm.
And then soon it was like this thing. I gotta, you know, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
You know, and it didn't take long. I'm not saying, but I wouldn't change diapers. I wouldn't. I go to work. It's that old mindset.
Uh-huh.
Mom's made to raise kids. I go to work.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of that. And it was. And after that, once I did that, the whole world changed.
Yeah.
You know, then my priorities were set. And I understood what my purpose was. And,
Yeah.
and it was probably the most defining, clearest point at the time was putting those two together.
Yeah.
Because everything I do is for that one singular reason. No matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll cut your head off if it means me going home tonight. You know what I mean? Like, not if you was posing a dear threat. You know what I mean? It's that clear that. Maybe not you.
I mean, you know.
It's just a risk thing. It's kind of like you said, driving or something.
I know we're not the best of friends yet, but I didn't think it was going to go that far. But
you know what I mean.
No, I get that. Yeah, absolutely. No, and I definitely appreciate you sharing that. And again, we get stuck, you know, and it's easy to get stuck thinking that this is who I am, this is how life is supposed to be, whether it's going good for you or if it's not going good for you, you know, because when it's going great for you, you're like, why would I change? And when it's not going so well, you're like, I don't know that it can change. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
So I've got two kids that are older. They're 20 months apart, and we were always in competitive soccer, traveling soccer, competitive basketball, and we always just looked for the next game, the next registration period, and that's all of our focus was either just going to work and then getting the kids to their next activity.
Yeah.
And I had a guy come in and was working on our alarm system one day, and he said that somebody asked him one day, what memories are you making for your kids? And he said, so I literally stopped traveling to the sports teams, and we bought a boat, and we did all this stuff and started making memories for our kids. And so we tried to like stop looking at the calendar where the next registration was, and actually taking the season off and going camping and going boating and things like that.
Yeah.
Just making the memories for the kids, because how many memories did they have when they're on the soccer field with you?
Yeah.
Because you're usually yelling at them. You know. I mean, it was pretty bad when I also have a child that is 10 years younger than them, and when she started playing sports, she would be like, yell at me like you do them, you know, yell at me like you do Bubby and Sissy, Mom. And I'm like, that's pretty bad that a kid wants to be yelled at, because that's what she thinks is normal.
You're not showing me love. You're not yelling.
Yeah.
You're not yelling at me like
Yeah.
you do them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, again, it's great. I mean, it hits you like a gut punch.
It did.
For sure. You know, but then when you make that shift, you understand that it's for the best, right? So, you know, as we can continue on to this, I want to bring up this model, okay? And so this is the growth mindset. And so great book written by a lady named Dr. Carol Dweck, okay? And she wrote the book called Mindset. And basically what she did is she broke down mindset into growth versus fixed, okay? Growth versus fixed. And so I want to spend a little time really just kind of dissecting this a little bit, right? So, and one of the things that I don't want us to, I don't want us to go down the path necessarily of thinking that fixed mindset means bad. Fixed mindset does not equal bad, okay? Because and this is Jon's opinion. This is how Jon looks at it, okay? You know, read the book, do your own research, consult with other people. But I don't think it's productive to have a growth mindset in every area of your life. Okay? Again, my opinion. But I'm sure that you all can finish this phrase. If everything's a priority, then nothing's a priority, right? If everything in my life is a priority, well, then none of it can be a priority, right? Because I'm trying to do all of it at once. And so I kind of look at that the same way when it comes to a growth versus a fixed mindset. There are very strategic areas in my life in which I have a growth mindset. But there are also areas of my life where I have a fixed mindset. And I'm okay with that. Okay? But when we look at a growth versus a fixed mindset, I think a lot of this starts to make some sense, right? So if I have a growth mindset, then it leads to the desire to build a skill because I believe that I can do it, right? It goes back to that debate of giftedness and talent versus hard work. It goes back to my story, right? I was a very talented 17, 18-year-old kid, right? It didn't mean squat when I was competing at the D1 level, right? I had to build the skill set of one, work ethic, and understanding my craft of track and field a lot better, right? Where you have a fixed mindset, sometimes that leads to the desire of just looking good, right? That's where I was. I would show up to track meets and people knew that they were competing for second place. They knew that. And again, that made me feel really good. But when I got to college, I was like, man, I hope I can just score a point for the team, right? 8th place. That'd be good. And so again, it's a different mindset. It's a different focus. But if we look at this, a fixed mindset, somebody with a fixed mindset in a particular area of their life, they're going to avoid challenges. Why would that make sense? If my desire through my skill is to look good, then why would I avoid a challenge?
Because if I fail, I'm gonna look bad.
Yeah.
You don't think you can afford it? Like,
Yeah.
Hurt your pride.
My reputation, my ego, my pride can't afford me to fail, right? And again, if we look at it, then we give up easily in the face of setbacks. Right? You ever known somebody that, again, was talented or really good at something, and then when it came to doing a hard workout or a hard practice, maybe they came up gimpy all of a sudden? I was like, well, my hammy, I'm going to go ahead and ice this off. Again, it's about protecting self. It's about protecting that ego a little bit. You see effort as worthless. Why would I work hard if I'm already talented, right? Why would I work hard if I feel like I'm already good enough? Yeah. Yeah, if I have a growth mindset. But if I've got a fixed mindset, I'm really not looking to push that envelope because, again, I'm good where I'm at.
It makes you mad when you see people, not really mad, you get frustrated with people like that.
Yeah.
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 You know they're capable of being, like they would dwarf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Potential, like building potential.
Yeah, but you literally, you can suggest and nudge them.
Yeah.
They're comfortable and they just want to teach you.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I think we all had friends or new people like that. That it's like, man, if you would just be consistent, show up a little bit more often. People that are entitled, it's the ones that don't want to practice but want to start. Right? You ignore criticism or feedback. What are you going to tell me as a coach that's going to make my talent better? Nothing. Right? Again, that's a mindset. And lastly, they feel threatened by the success of others. Because if I see you working hard, even though you're not as talented and you're getting the same results as me, I don't like that. That's threatening to my ego, to my pride. Because now you're telling me that you're just as good as me, even though, that learning curve for them is a lot steeper, right? But they've got more passion, they've got more appreciation, they've got more of a work ethic, and eventually they're going to pass me, right? And so, obviously, one of the results of having a fixed mindset is that you plateau. And again, what I'm here to say is that there are very successful people that have a fixed mindset. I mean, you look at Allen Iverson, very talented basketball player, right?
Football player too.
Yeah, football player, right? Say it again.
You talking about practice?
Practice. Practice. We're talking about practice. Not the game. Not the game, but practice. Fixed mindset. Got him all the way to the NBA championship. Won the first game, right? But he had a lid on him because he wasn't willing to break through that through hard work.
So the same thing about Shaq.
Yeah. I mean, Kobe called him out.
If he had Kobe Bryant's work ethic.
Yeah. Kobe called him out on that. I haven't seen it, no. Yeah.
That's one of the best ones when it comes to talking to this.
Yeah.
The coach, the manager in the locker room was talking. I mean, it was a race barrier.
You're right.
Robson's trying to break it. All the white guys are in the locker room like, yeah, we're good. We're ball players. We're putting on the best game. The manager's like, no, they're coming for your jobs. They're harder workers. And they're coming, and all of a sudden they started taking over. So this is exactly what that reminds me of.
Yeah.
They're complacent. They're good. Everybody else that works harder, they ran them out of the job.
And that's the thing. If nobody else pushes the envelope, then you don't know how good you could be, right? Right? And obviously, the opposite takes place when you look at it from a growth mindset. And so what I want you all to do just here for a couple minutes, because I want to respect the chaplain's time, is talk about where's an area of your life that you have a fixed mindset? And does it need to switch into a growth mindset, or are you good with where it is? But where is an area where you know you have a growth mindset and you're looking to get better, to get to that next level? Okay? Same partner, different partner, doesn't matter, but have that conversation. Where do you have a fixed mindset potentially? Where do you have a growth mindset? Where do you see that taking you? Yeah.
I find that doing that, like with myself, like I'm going to the schools that I'm most comfortable with, and now I'm like forcing myself to go to schools that I don't go to often. Like most of the stuff, it's like it's okay if they don't want me there. I have to accept money. It's a big factor. But when I came here, yeah.
What's that?
Just do a 5-minute break.
Okay.
What do you need?
No, I was just I told them, because I know the chaplain's supposed to come on at
Yep.
11:45, so instead of talking about habits, I'll do that after lunch.
That's fine.
So.
Just kind of to stay on schedule?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we'll do, I'll tell them. That's fine.
I mean, I'll still wrap up, but I just.
Give them a 5, and then Ella give us a transition.
Okay.
With the business stuff, I think there's so much left to learn, right? So it's like I'm gonna have to just kind of open out the possibilities.
I had a mindset.
Let them lead.
Those people, they need to come on. Everybody's interviewing. I'll go work. Yeah, they're all right. No, I realize that they're all right.
You know, it's good.
And I don't know if that's like application.
I don't know what the solution is, but I do realize that something I got to try.
Getting into the proper mindset of getting started. I know that I have to do it.
It's a nurture. It's like things that are at rest, stay at rest, and things that are in motion. But it's hard to get something that's at rest in motion. So I think what you said is probably true. It's like probably this the application. Yeah. Right. No. I'm not going to too.
All right, so talking about a fixed versus a growth mindset. How many of you have areas of fixedness in your life? Yeah. Like a fixed mindset that I have is around art. I don't care about art. I don't care how, I mean, my stick figures are only going to get so good. You know, you talk about drawing a house, hey, it's a square with a triangle, right? And then a couple rectangles for some doors. Now, if it's a mansion, it's a long rectangle with a couple more triangles on top, right? That's how I look at it. You know, now my kids, they're really artistic and I'm happy for them. But you know, they're not getting any lessons from dad, right? And I'm okay with that because I know that my artistic ability does not impact the things that are most important to me in my life, right? And so again, that's John's opinion. When it comes to having a fixed versus a growth mindset, I'm not saying that you can't be successful, that you can't accomplish good things when it comes to having a fixed mindset. But what I am saying is that you're going to have a lid on how well and how far you can go, right? Versus having that growth mindset of, you know what, maybe I'm not as good at it as I would like to be right now, but I know that I have the potential to get better, right? And so what we're going to do is take a quick 5-minute break. Chaplain's going to come up, and then I'll see you guys after lunch. All right.